What up, fight fans, and welcome back to the MMA channel with me, Marisol. So Amanda Nunes versus Germaine de Randamie finally took place, and it did not go the way that I had anticipated, and you would know what I was thinking if you saw my previous video. And we did see Amanda Nunes retain the title, but the fight did go the distance, and quite frankly, she faced some challenges in Germaine de Randamie that she really did not need to. They were a bit unnecessary and really unexpected. So let's get into exactly why that may be. Why did Amanda Nunes face certain challenges and really unnecessary challenges in this fight? And I think that is frankly because of the fact that she did not have that respect for Germaine de Randamie that she has had for other opponents, and perhaps she didn't really have that fire in her belly when it came to really proving herself in the octagon that she had had with previous fights and opponents as well. So let's get into what went down and why I think that is exactly the case for this situation. So first and foremost, Germaine de Randamie actually had some amazing shots in the fight. She really gave Amanda Nunes a run for her money when it came to the striking, and quite frankly and surprisingly when it came to the grappling as well. So like I said, she had some good shots. She did well in the clinch. She had that jumping knee, and she was nearly able to secure submission via triangle, but Amanda Nunes did escape. So what is astounding about that particular piece is that even in this own fight, we saw that Germaine de Randamie isn't the most talented or skillful grappler out there. Of course, this is something we already knew, but it was really showcased in this fight and really well juxtaposed with the fact that she so poorly defended herself on the ground, but she also nearly won the title via submission. But what could have happened if she would have been more skillful on the ground and a more advanced grappler, what would have done in that situation was, one, actually lock in the triangle effectively, and two, if they would have been losing the triangle, they could have easily transitioned that into an armbar and won via that mode. But that is not what happened, and quite frankly, I was hoping, rooting for Amanda Nunes, as some of you may know that I predicted that she would win anyway. But there was a point in time during that fight that I feel like many around the world were fearful that Amanda Nunes was going to lose her title via submission. So that definitely was out there. But also on top of the fact, given the fact that Amanda Nunes is a skilled grappler, and especially in comparison to Germaine de Randamie, the question then is, why was she in the position to be nearly submitted to begin with? Why was she so off balance in that position anyway to then fall into so seamlessly into a triangle? And that is definitely a question to ask, one that she needs to ask herself, one that her coaches need to pose to her. But I think that one of the reasons that may be is that really there wasn't that fear in her when it came to Germaine de Randamie, as there may have been and logically would have been with other opponents that she has faced in the past. So to further emphasize the fact that this is something that really should not have happened in any capacity, because Germaine de Randamie doesn't really have that grappling skill. One, she has no takedown defense, and that was evident as she repeatedly fell for the exact same takedown throughout the entire fight. And then on top of that, once she finally was on the ground, she couldn't adequately defend herself. She couldn't keep Amanda Nunes away from her. She couldn't just simply put her feet on the hips and push her away to create space. Of course, all these things are easier said than done, but in that type of scenario, once you do secure your feet on someone's hips, you can just push them away. She didn't really do that, and when she did finally do that, she actually didn't take that opportunity and that space to get up. And then when Germaine de Randamie did have Amanda Nunes in her guard, she did absolutely nothing with it and just kind of hugged her until they were stood up in the fight to actually keep the action going. But to further talk about this sort of aloofness, this sort of carelessness and lack of respect when it comes to one's opponent, which quite frankly should never be the case when it comes to this type of sport, really, and any other martial art. You never are supposed to underestimate your opponent, because the nature of this game is any one punch, any one kick could mean lights out for you and you are knocked out. And even when it comes to grappling, if you do not have that respect for your opponent, they will know enough in a certain area to get you. And we saw that almost happen with Amanda Nunes in this fight. And one of the things that I think that may be the case here when it comes to that is that she's in essence achieved a goal already. Not only is she already champ and double champ, but when it came to fighting Ronda Rousey and when it came to fighting Chris Cyborg, for example, there was something to prove. You know, when we had the promotion for Amanda Nunes versus Ronda Rousey, it was all about Ronda Rousey and her return and who she was and that hype train which she so deservedly had. But it was definitely unfair to Amanda Nunes and disrespectful towards her and her skill set and the fact that she could defeat Ronda Rousey, and she did. But for her, there was sort of that extra fire there to prove to the world that they shouldn't have ignored her or ignored who she was and the threat that she was. So she proved that. And then again, when fighting Cyborg, who was one of the most feared fighters in MMA, and she so quickly knocked her out, further proving her dominance and the fact that she is someone to be respected and feared, and proving that to the organization, proving that to all the fans in the world that she is someone to be taken notice of. That's been achieved. So perhaps when it came to fighting Germaine de Randamie, there wasn't really anything left to prove there. So perhaps there wasn't as much fire in her in order to really give her all and give her entire focus and respect to her opponent and to this fight. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Ultimately, I do hope that she does learn from this. I do think that this was one of her lesser performances in the octagon. So I do hope that she does still learn from this, even though she won. But again, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And as always, don't forget to like this video and to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.